Welcome to Learn with Call, episode 4. I'm Colleen Kenny, and today we're talking about one of the most important questions facing public education right now. Are we teaching people or are we just training them? And why does the difference matter more than ever in an AI economy? I wrote this piece with New Jersey specifically in mind, our community colleges, our state universities, our workforce, our communities. But I want to be clear up front that the lessons here go well beyond just one state. Wherever you are, if you care about education, if you care about work and what technology is doing to both, this is for you. So thank you for listening. So the paradox that we're living in is kind of strange. We're more connected than at any point in human history, and yet trust is thinner. And it's not been like this in generations. We're producing more information than ever before, and yet we share less and less common ground. We're building powerful new technologies faster than our public institutions have adapted to understand them, govern them, or make sure that everyone benefits. The reach of these powerful new technologies reach everyone. And that's the world we're operating in. It has real consequences for students, for workers, for families, and for anyone who runs, funds, or believes in public education. In New Jersey, the labor market captures this tension pretty well. The state added nearly 6,000 jobs in December, but unemployment still sat at 5 full point above the national rate. Job growth and economic security are not the same thing. We know this, especially when AI is quietly rewriting the terms of entry for people who are just starting out, people like my kids and my students. The old deal is breaking. For most of the century, education rested on a pretty clear bargain: learn a skill, earn a credential, get a wage premium. Students took on debt and deferred income because the deal largely held. But here's the honest truth about that model. It was more about training than about teaching. It was one directional. Institutions delivered credentials, students absorbed them, employers consumed the output. It ensured that there was a correct answer, a measurable outcome, a behavior to be modified. That model served a more stable economy, a predictable economy, but it will not serve this one. AI is putting that bargain under severe strain. Tasks that once required years of specialized training can now be approximated in seconds. I mean, me doing this video alone is pretty wild. Being able to record a podcast and read off a script that I operate from my home computer at no cost is wild. So entry-level hiring in AI-exposed fields is under pressure even as the broader economy grows. The people who played by the rules, who did everything right, are often the most exposed to disruption. And the gains aren't being shared evenly. A small number of firms, investors, and highly skilled users are capturing much of the upside. Many others are left to absorb the risk as collateral damage. And that leaves a hard question on the table for students and families everywhere. Is there still a place for me in this economy? Public education has to help make sure the answer is yes. Before we can even prepare people for work, we have to address something more fundamental: the collapse of shared trust. Trust in media, trust in government and schools has fallen sharply. And a big reason for this is the attention economy, which rewards outrage and speed and fragmentation over reflection and shared understanding. Platforms reinforce what people already believe more often than they challenge it. AI didn't create that problem. The companies that created the AI created the problem, but it does intensify it. And that's why I think we need to frame AI not only as an innovation issue, but as a civic capacity issue. If the next generation can't discern credible information, collaborate across differences, or evaluate evidence in good faith, then no workforce strategy is going to be enough. People can't communicate. So the thing that's at the heart of all of this is the distinction between teaching and training. So I want you to sit with this for a second. When we talk about preparing people for an AI economy, we almost always talk about training. The word is training that we use. Retrain the workforce, train people for new skills, train them faster. But training is one directional. Training is the goal is behavior modification and measurable output. It's the underlying assumption that humans are patterns to be optimized and that there is somewhere a correct answer waiting to be produced. Teaching, however, is something else entirely. Teaching moves in both directions. Its goal is the co-creation of meaning and the co-creation of outcomes. It assumes that humans are consciousnesses to be engaged, not variables to be adjusted. It leaves rooms for emergence, surprise, and yes, liberation. Big tech not coincidentally wants to train society to accept AI. The more important question, and one public education is uniquely positioned to answer, is what would it look like if society taught AI builders about human values instead? Flip it, right? Public colleges and universities can't compete with Silicon Valley on the training access. They shouldn't even try. What they can do and what they're already doing in their best moments is teach community as curriculum. Here's what makes public higher education irreplaceable, and I mean that literally. Their classrooms do something that platforms cannot do. They bring people with genuinely different backgrounds into actual relationship with one another. Students encounter disagreement. They learn to collaborate. They practice the habits that make civic life possible. Group projects. My students always groan. They don't like a group project. It's a big pain in the ass, but life as we know it is a group project, right? We got to learn how to do it. And so that's why I say community should be treated as curriculum. The bi-directional exchange of genuine teaching across difference, across uncertainty, without a predetermined correct output is precisely what the AI economy needs more of, not less. Platforms can train, only human institutions can teach. Vocational education, apprenticeship, cooperative learning, community-embedded projects, these aren't second-tier options. They may be the most future-ready forms of education that we have because they develop judgment, initiative, and the kind of human intelligence that technology cannot easily replace. So a better economic model, the response to AI disruption can't be limited to just retraining. That assumes we can just repair the old system, and we are well past that point. What I propose instead is what I call coexistent entrepreneurship, cultivating people who build enterprises rooted in place, accountable to the community, and designed to distribute value rather than to concentrate it in the hands of a few. The right questions aren't just what skills do I need? They are what does my community need? What do I know how to build? Who can I build it with me? That kind of practical place-based thinking isn't old-fashioned. It might be the most forward-looking thing that we can teach anyone. The intelligence we already have. So I want to end with something I feel very strongly about. We should be careful not to confuse machine power with human wisdom. I know everyone's talking about AGI, maybe coming. I am not here to weigh in on that particular item, but I can tell you that right now, there are nurses who notice a patient's decline before the monitor does. There are electricians who hear a problem before it becomes a total failure. There are contractors who read a job site beyond what any AI tool or blueprint can capture, right? There are forms of intelligence that are built through experience, that require memory, and that are forms of value that AI cannot easily reproduce and that our society desperately needs more of. So we should treat that knowledge as a strategic asset. We should teach people not only how to use tools, but how to exercise judgment, how to work with others, and how to contribute to something larger than themselves. This is especially important right now when some in the tech sector are using AI as a halo effect, dressing up layoffs and cost cutting as innovation. When automation displaces people, public institutions should not be bystanders. They should be the response. In 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote his final book. In its closing passage, he warned that humanity still had a choice: nonviolent coexistence or violent co-annihilation, chaos or community. That choice doesn't resolve itself. That choice ahead for education is partly a question of language. If we keep reaching for the word training, we'll keep building systems designed around behavior modification and measurable throughput. We'll prepare people for an economy that is already replacing that kind of work. If we reach instead of the word teaching with everything that it implies about relationship, emergence, and human judgment, we might build something more durable. Not just a smarter workforce, a more capable civic society Wouldn't that be amazing? One that doesn't just accept what technology delivers, but shapes what technology becomes. Okay, well, that's episode 4. I'd love for you to read the full essay. I go deeper on data centers, the policy landscape, and what New Jersey specifically should do. The link is in the show notes, and please let me know what you think. Do you see this teaching versus training tension playing out where you live, where you work? And in your own education, I really actually truly want to hear from you. Thank you for spending your time with me. See you in episode 5.